Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Red Dragon Sports. I'm your host, Geoff Hassard, Assistant Director of Athletics and Sports Information Director here at SUNY Oneonta. And as we complete our spring teams, we're going to have women's lacrosse in the studio tonight. So please join me after the break where I'll be joined by head women's lacrosse coach, Allie Pollock.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is our third-year head women's lacrosse coach, Allie Pollock. Welcome to the show, Allie.
Thanks, Jeff.
We finally had a chance to get you in the studio here. I know this is your third year. We've had 2 winning seasons your first 2 years here. But before we go into that and talk about this year, why don't you let everyone know a little bit about yourself, your background.
I'm originally from Albany, New York, and I went to college in New Jersey at Division I Monmouth University, played 4 years of lacrosse there, and then came over here as an assistant my first year.
Right, you had some good success at Monmouth as a player and as a team, right? You went to the NCAA tournament?
Yep. My freshman year, we won the conference, and we got into the NCAA tournament. And then all 4 years, we made it to playoffs.
Yeah. Now, as a Division I athlete, I mean, you know, the game of lacrosse is the same. I mean, it's played the same.
Absolutely.
The rules are the same. It's not. What's it like as a Division I player and now being a Division III coach?
It's so different as a coach, and I always tell my girls no regrets. I really wish I could have gone back and do some of the things that I tell them to work on as a player. So I think the biggest thing is you just see so many things and you just wish you could go back and work a little bit harder. Right. So I just tell my girls to live that way as well. Right.
Now, as you're trying to build your program, I mean, we had 12 wins during your first year here. And certainly that was a season record for us. We never won 12 games before. We had a great year. Last year we won 9 games. We made it into the SUNY tournament. This year we're off to a great start. We've got we had our first national ranking ever in the history of the program, which certainly is exciting. I mean, so as you talk about building your program and getting the players to work and buy into the, the work ethic and doing the extra things, tell us how you go about instilling that into the players.
Well, I think my girls will tell you too. I'm really all about fundamentals. We do a lot of conditioning, a lot of stick work. Of course, it's all about recruiting too and getting the right players. Right. So, we do a lot of things outside of practice as well. We kind of had a rough weekend, so we're starting to work on a couple things this week, getting the girls in before practice to do some shooting and focus on their mental game and visualization as well, just to kind of shake things up a little bit.
Right.
So
now you say fundamentals. So when you're scouting or recruiting, potential student athletes, players, I mean, are you looking for those kinds of things?
Absolutely. I think speed, athleticism, stick work. Whether they're hustling when they drop the ball or if they're kind of getting frustrated and throwing their hands up in the air. So, of course, as a coach, I pay attention to that when I'm recruiting. So.
Right. Now, so when you bring them here, they get on campus. Now they're a college athlete. I mean, what kind of a transition is that for you, and how do you go about helping them make that transition from high school to college?
Oh, yeah, I think it's incredibly difficult, and I think as freshmen, they're in my office all the time, and one of the things I really tell them is to just use their upperclassmen, come see the coaches when they're having issues. Of course, there's all sorts of academic advisement. We have a faculty mentor, so I think there's all sorts of resources, and they got to just make sure that they use them. They know they're out there.
Right.
So.
And so really, you're thinking your thing is the whole student athlete. I mean, they're sure they want to have a great experience playing lacrosse. I mean, certainly we're a competitive team. We're nationally ranked means we're one of the teams that people are looking to get on their schedules.
Right.
But you're looking also as hey, you're here also for 4 years to get an education. So I mean, what kinds of things do you do in your program that gets them to go to that or leads them to those kinds of goals as well?
Right. I think we do a lot of team bonding. We do a lot of community service. This year we took a trip out west to California, and I think that was a great experience for them as well. You know, we went to Disneyland, we went to Hollywood Boulevard, so we did a bunch of things with them to kind of get their minds off of lacrosse and really focus on having fun and what it's all about is the full experience. So.
Right. So now our team is, you know, we have a couple of seniors, we have a lot of juniors. You know, we're building in with the freshmen and sophomores. How do your upperclassmen help in that process of getting kids to kind of, you know, get on board with your philosophy?
Yeah, I think we have great leadership in our senior and junior class. You're going to meet with some of the juniors as well. We have a big junior class. I think there's 5 or 6 starters, so they're a huge class for us. And I think really it's just about having a relationship with them. So since my first year here, I've been really just trying to build a relationship with them, get them in my office, really get them on the same page so they can then go out to the team and really reiterate what I'm all about too. And I think that's been a huge part of our success the past couple of years.
Right. So let's talk about some of the players and maybe how we're, you know, this year's squad. Why don't you point out, maybe you can talk about, you know, some of your defenders, midfielders, people who are standing out for us. I know we're going to have a couple outstanding players, like you said, in our junior class, but who are some of the other players? I mean, Steph Rodriguez Sr., you know, Casey Sarl. Talk a little bit about some of those players and how they've helped us.
Yep, Steph is a senior. She is a 2-year captain. She's great for us on and off the field. I mean, she just really gets it done for me. Anything that I tell her, she gets it done. So she's been a huge support for me. Casey Sarl is just a workhorse. She's really just a workhorse in our midfield. She does it all for us. And this weekend, she really was killing herself for the team. So she is just up and down the field, scoring goals for us, causing turnovers, getting the draw control. So she's sort of that silent leader in the midfield for us.
Right.
And then, of course, Marissa Makar on defense. You've seen, she's been all conference since her freshman year, and she just really gets it done for us on defense, causing turnovers, getting those ground balls, and she's a captain this year as well, so she's a great leader for us as well.
Right. Now, offensively, we have some pretty, we have some people who can put up some numbers. You know, Jillian Donadeo and Kiera, who's going to be on the show, and Chelsea Collins is kind of like the playmaker. She gets, she's like piling up the assists. You know, every game you see 5, 6 assists. How are they working together to, you know, as a unit? I mean, it looks like they're pretty effective, but, you know, I mean, how do they get it to work together?
I think we're just extremely effective right now because we have so many different strengths. You know, Kira's really a finisher for us in front of the cage. She's just an incredibly smart shooter, has a great shooting percentage, so she's just that finisher, that goal scorer for us.
Right.
Jill is more of that dodger, 1v1. She's really going to have the ball at the end of the game for us when we need a goal, and she's just so fast and athletic that she just takes anybody on 1v1.
Yeah.
And Chelsea is just feeding all over the place. It's so exciting to see her do so well the past couple of years.
Right.
So she just started her junior year, and she's really come a long way. So I think we just have such a great dynamic. Everybody has their own individual strength. And then Katie Flannery, who's a freshman, is really getting it done for us on the field as well. She's very smart. She's composed. She has great stick skills. We're just working on her shot right now. So.
And then we have a couple of other kind of like, we call them like speedsters. They're about 5'3" or 4. You know, Nikki, the 2 Nicks, right? Nicole Boylan.
Yup, in the midfield.
I mean, you just watch them run up and down, and you're like, wow. I mean, they have the ball, and all of a sudden they're here, but then they're, you know, in another spot. I mean, the 2 of them have certainly added to our offensive attack as well.
Absolutely. They're extremely fast along with Casey in the midfield. So that's, of course, one of our strengths. We're extremely quick, extremely fast team. But, you know, I've just been trying to get Nicole and Nikki to score a little bit more.
Right.
They did some last year in their freshman year, but I've been trying to build them up a little bit more, give them some confidence so that they can really take it to goal because they can. They're so quick, and they really can take on anyone 1v1, and they've been doing a great job of that this year.
So that really, the connection between your, you know, your defenders, you know, as you talk about transition, you know, it's so important in lacrosse. I mean, if you watch lacrosse, if you can't move the ball through the midfield, you're not going to be able to do a lot. And certainly it looks like, you know, at each end of the field, you know, the back third with with our defenders and how they get the ball, and then they get it to the midfielders who can run and get it and clear it to our attackers. I mean, it looks like the three phases of our game have been working pretty well thus far.
It's really strong, despite being in the gym for
Right.
almost a month. I don't even know. We were inside the gym before our game on Friday, so our transition has been awesome, considering we've only been outside a couple times to really work on it.
Right.
But I think a huge component of that is just our speed, our leadership, and we really are a fast break team. We're really looking to get the ball down the field as fast as we can.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the SUNY. Certainly over the last, I've been here 15 years now, and I think over the last 4 years we've kind of seen this rise. And 2 years ago we had 3 teams make it to the NCAA tournament. Right. I mean, it looks like the level of play in the SUNY is not, it's not Cortland and everyone else anymore. It's Cortland, Geneseo, Brockport, Oneonta, Fredonia, Buffalo State. I mean, we go 6 teams deep. What's it like to play in a conference like that, and how do you see us this year within that conference?
I think for my team this year, they really need a challenge in order to succeed. I think we've noticed that over a couple games. When we're not playing as strong teams, they get really motivated and they love to take on the challenge. So I think that's really good for us. Of course, tough schedule, and we play Hamilton and we played RPI, and we played Fisher on Friday, so we have a tough schedule as it is. But I think the SUNYACs, it's great for the SUNYACs that we're having so many teams ranked.
Right. Now, so when you're looking at your schedule every year and you're trying to find games or opponents or anything like that, I mean, where do you look? I mean, do we want to play all nationally ranked teams, or do we want to try and build it so that, there's some games there where, like you say, you build a little confidence, you start off, and then you kind of get into some of those games. I mean, we played Rensselaer the third game of the season. So, I mean, how do you try and, put that schedule together where it works?
I think I'm still learning as a third-year head coach. I think my schedule is definitely I can build on it, but we really need ranked teams in there. I think what I look at is the IWLCA top 20, the Lax Magazine top 20. We just picked up Ithaca for next year as well. So I really try and get those teams in there, and I think that's how we're going to get to the NCAAs. We got to play the best teams, and it's only going to make us better. I think this past weekend having 2 losses, Friday and Saturday, really exploited our weaknesses, and I think that's great in the beginning of the season. Right,
because now you've got pretty much a whole half to almost 2/3 of the season, which includes our whole SUNYAC schedule, which is 9 games. Well, certainly we want to wish you the best of luck, and it's great that we got a chance to finally talk to you, in your 3rd year. But the program, we're doing great. The players are playing hard. It looks like we're in tune, like I said. I mean, it looks like our 3 phases of the game are coming together, and we certainly hope that you're in the mix at the end of the year with the SUNYAC, and because again, we know it's tough. Like 5 or 6 teams can win it, so I think it's great to know that, because again, the SUNYAC, wasn't always as strong, but now it looks like we're one of the best teams in that conference. So, well, we want to wish you the best of luck and health. Certainly health is always important in your season, and we hope that maybe in May we'll be playing some more games in the NCAA tournament.
Thank you very much, Geoff.
All right, well, thanks for coming by. I'd like to thank head women's lacrosse coach Allie Pollock for coming by tonight, and after the break I'll be joined in studio by juniors Kiara McNally and Marissa Makar.
My dad's one of the producers who was there today. Bring this week.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio are women's lacrosse players, juniors on our team, Kiara McNally and Marissa Makar. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
So like you said, I'm a junior. I'm a child and family studies major, and I'm from Yorktown, New York.
Yorktown, New York. What about you, Kiara?
I'm also a junior. I'm a psychology major, and I'm from East Northport on Long Island.
Okay, so Long Island, that's like that's like where everyone comes from, right? The place lacrosse scene,
Yeah.
seems like. What was it like playing high school lacrosse, and then kind of maybe how did it transition for you to college?
I mean, I guess I could speak for both of us when we say this. We both came from really big high schools. Both of our teams went to states, so our cultures were pretty tough on us. So transitioning wasn't that difficult. Like I could definitely see people on our team that had a little bit more difficulty just because their high schools weren't as hardcore as ours were.
Right. So playing at a high level in high school, you think has helped you collegiately so far?
Oh my God, yeah. I feel like there's less pressure on me here, and our coaches were like the same person in high school. Like we were really, really, really hard on us, and it's actually kind of a relief playing for Allie.
Oh, really? Well, that's good. I mean, that's good because certainly, when you play your sport, I mean, you have so many things going on. You got classwork, and you got lacrosse, and you got practices, and you got games, and you're always all over the place. So I guess it would say that, but you also want to have a little fun while you're doing it. Otherwise, it's not really enjoyable to do it. So, it's good that you're able to do those things. Now, you're both juniors. You've both been an important part of our team for 3 years. I mean, you've been one of our leading scorers this year. You lead us in goals, and of course, every time we turn around, you're stealing the ball from somebody, leading our team and cause turnovers. Defensively, I mean, is that really is that what you're in for? You want to get us the ball so we can get it to someone like Kiera who can score the goals? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really like waiting for things to happen. I'm kind of impatient sometimes, so I don't like just the other team being able to settle down and like relax. Like I like keeping the intensity up, because I also feel like that like brings the rest of the team up.
Right.
So.
Because it looks like our defensive unit, with you and Steph, and certainly Amanda in goal. I mean, how does that unit? How do you guys communicate, and how do you work together?
Well, like Coach said, I think we all have our different strengths and weaknesses. Like, I'm pretty good at 1v1s, and like Steph is really good at like communicating. Randall's like really aggressive. Amanda directs us, so we all just like work really well together.
Yeah. Now, of course, when we finally get the ball up front, we certainly have a lot of people who can score. 5 or 6 players who can score for us at any time. Do you think that makes it tougher for the other team because they can't really key in on one person?
Yeah, I definitely think, and I also think a lot of our goals are assisted too. Yeah. And I feel like I could be on the field and I won't see Jill, but like I will know where Jill is. Like we'll always know where each other are. Like I always know where to cut if I want the ball from Chelsea, and we're always just on the same page.
Right,
so.
Which is important. Certainly, I mean, as we work, you work closer to the goal and stuff like that. Do you find yourself marked? Are people trying to mark you out of a match at times because you're so, such a high, you can score and.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah. There are times where people will switch off on me, especially like they'll put taller people on me.
Right.
But, you just got to work through it, I guess.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, how do you go about, with the rest of your players up there, with Chelsea and Jill and, it could be Nikki and Nicole. I mean, how do you guys kind of overcome that? Because if I were, watching you guys play for 3 years, I would say that if I were going to defend anybody, it would probably be maybe you and Jillian.
Yeah.
So how does everyone kind of overcome that as a group?
Well, you set plays up for each other. Like when I know someone is marking me really hard, we'll call a play where I'll be in the middle and I'll have someone set picks for me and I'll set picks for them, so we're getting each other open.
Okay, so you already kind of have those
Yeah.
built in, which is great. We're off to a great start, certainly. We got into the national rankings for the first time ever, and 2 years ago as freshmen, you were part of a team that set the record for single-season wins. We made it to the SUNY tournament last year. I mean, maybe it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but certainly, getting in there because now you kind of build off that. So coming into this year, how are you looking forward to this season?
Well, we only lost one senior last year, so we already knew what our strengths were. We knew we had to work with. Like Coach said, we have a few strong freshmen that came in, so we just worked really hard in fall ball, which I think got us really excited for the season. We did really well in the tournament, and a lot of the teams that we did play in the fall ball tournament were ranked teams, so that kind of boosted our confidence during preseason. We beat these teams in fall ball. Now we have all of preseason to work on it. So.
Right. Now, when we have teams like Rensselaer and St. John Fisher, and of course Cortland is always up there in the top, rankings. And Coach and I were talking about how I think there was 4 SUNY teams ranked, at one point, in the first few weeks of the season. I mean, how excited do you guys get for those kind of games?
We definitely get very excited. Before games, we do a thing called psych ups, where like a different person will bring something in to psych each other up, and I think it's really been helping. A lot of people like are coming out of their shell and like supporting each other, and like it brings us all closer too. So.
Right. Team bonding, very important, and creating a team culture. You know, Coach talked about how we all, you know, you went to California, and that was a great trip because I mean, you got nothing else going on, but you know, just being together and doing things. So when you, as upperclassmen now and leaders of our program, how do you use those kind of situations to help, you know, bring the freshmen and, you know, maybe some sophomores that, you know, like you said, maybe bring them out of their shell? I mean, what kinds of things do you as leaders do to help with that process?
I just think being together like all the time, like we're all really comfortable. Like no one on our team is like bossy. Like we're all just like all leaders. So I think that makes it like a lot better. No one's like ratting each other out. Like we're all just like really close, no matter what the age difference is. And we also like roomed with like different classes in California. So like I was rooming with like a freshman and a sophomore. So like, you know, I didn't know the freshman that well, but like after living with her for a whole week, like we got to know each other a lot more.
Now, when during the recruiting process, how involved are you in that when freshmen prospective players come on campus? I mean, are you involved in that process as well?
Yeah, well, they come to watch us practice, and we always try and play our best
Yeah.
when we're there. But then there's also been times like we had an ice cream party, and the recruits came to our ice cream party, and we just showed them like what we were about, and they had a really fun time with us. So
Right. Now,
we just welcome them.
Right. Is that important to be able to be involved like as early as when they're, you know, still thinking about where they want to go to school?
Yeah, I think it's really important because they get to see our personalities, not just how well we play our lacrosse. Like, they're not just looking at our record. They're like, wow, those people seem like really nice. And, like, look how close they are. Like, I want to be a part of a team that is that close to.
Right. And now, you know, team bonding, you know, you're involved in community service things. I mean, a couple years ago, we were involved in the flood relief efforts, you know, which was incredible for everyone to be involved in because it was such a tragic event with a lot of homes and stuff in that area. How important are those kinds of activities to be involved in, you know, not only just when you're, you know, doing it, but, you know, years down the road when you're graduated and all of a sudden, you know, there's something going on wherever you may decide to live, you know, and you want to be involved. I mean, so can you tell us about how important it is to be involved in those kinds of activities as well?
I definitely think it's really important, like, and we always have fun with it too, but it just makes you feel good, and people look at us with like such respect when we do stuff like that too. Like, professors are always so impressed. So
Right. Being role models.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, certainly athletes, mostly professional athletes, get, you know, a bad rap of being, you know, they don't want to be role models. You know, they don't want people to look up to them. I mean, Division III athletics is so unique and so different because, you know, you're not getting paid. You know what I mean? You're playing your sport because you love it. You know. So what about Division III? I mean, are you happy that you made a decision to come to Division III and decide to be a student athlete? I mean, really, in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the decision. I'm able to enjoy the sport that I've loved forever, and also, you know, we both have good GPAs, so we're able to focus on school, and then we also have a social life too, so we can actually get that college experience.
Right, and that's important, you know, as you move on. I mean, certainly, you know, so that Division III experience right now, you're enjoying you're enjoying everything. I mean, we're a winning program, we're doing great in the classroom, and now those are the kinds of things you try and pass on to, you know, the freshmen that come into our program. I mean, talk about some of those things that, geez, it's great to be here. Look what you get to do. I mean, how do the upperclassmen handle that?
Well, we always tell stories and stuff. The freshmen are always like asking questions, and they're really interested. And like this season, I've been videotaping with my dad's little GoPro camera.
Okay.
And like the freshmen are like so into it, and it's just nice that like everyone will be able to like look back on it now, like when the season's over and stuff. But yeah.
So those are ways. I mean, technology. You know, you use technology. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, we're out there on Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's important to, you know, let people know how you're doing. I mean, how important is that?
It's really important. Like that article about us making top 20.
Right.
I think every single person on our team put it on their Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram. So
Right.
I know some of our moms put it on their Facebook. So it was a big accomplishment. So we were proud of it. So we wanted
Right.
everyone to know.
That was we're talking about the Lax Mag, which is online. They have their own version online. They previewed us as part of their Division III preview for the weekend or whatever, because we're certainly off to a great start, and we hope that you just keep playing hard and keep winning games, and we wish you the best of luck in the SUNY, because we know it is a tough conference now. It wasn't always, but we're one of the top teams, so we hope that you guys all stay healthy and play your best, and hopefully we'll be playing in May in the NCAA
We
tournament.
will be.
All right, good. That's good attitude. So I want to thank you both for coming by tonight and joining me on the show.
Thank
you.
All right, good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to thank all the members of the Women's Lacrosse program for coming by tonight, and especially head coach Allie Pollock, who we finally had a chance to talk with. And I'd like to let you know that you can follow them all year long on www.oneontaathletics.com. At Women's, Oneonta, WLAX. They're on Twitter. So certainly follow them if you can. Become a fan of them, because they're certainly going to have a great season. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time on Inside Red Dragon Sports.